First, thank you very much for letting me talk to you.
Yeah.
It's 19th of April 2015. We are in Luton, and I'm talking to Anya and Nadan. Hello.
Hello.
And the reason we met today is I wanted to talk to you about culture and how cultures develop in your relationship, in your marriage. You come from Poland, and where do you come
Palestine.
from? Palestine. And you live in England, so it's like three cultures all being mixed at the same time.
Yeah.
When you were in Poland, did you convert to Islam there, or did you convert to Islam?
No, I converted to Islam here in UK.
And how was it? Can you?
I found out about Islam through TV, a program on BBC. It was a program for just beginners, people who don't know anything about this religion. So there was a lot of explanation from A to Z. I loved everything I heard. So I decided to read about it, find out some more on my own, and then after that I was happy. You know, I decided to convert to Islam. Yeah.
And then, did you meet your husband?
I met my husband about 4 months, 4 or 5 months after I converted.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know him at that time. If that's what you want to ask. Yeah.
And did you come across any concerns or any questions that were nagging you when you were converting?
Questions about Islam, about religion? No. Everything I found out about Islam is you know, straight, clean. It's like Islam gives answers to all the questions, all the problems. That's why it gives me peace, and that's why I love it. Yeah.
And if anyone wants to convert, where do they go? What place would you suggest?
If people want to convert,
there are so many places you could go. You could go either to the mosque to search for books to read about. You could come across to any person he is a Muslim and ask him for help, and he might give you some guidance on books or internet to search, or maybe he's got books himself. He can pass it to you to read it, and after when you read it, he can take you to the mosque to see how people pray and how people deal with like daily basis about Islam.
In today's world, I don't think there is a problem finding out anything about this religion or other, because you've got your internet at home, on mobile, wherever, and you can do your research and then maybe go and talk to people. I think if I wanted to find out something about a religion, I would do that. So first read about it on your own, maybe, and then go ask.
The best way is, to be
talk to
honest
people.
with you, is to ask any person who is already Muslim or converted. Even the person who already converted to Islam, is to ask him. It's easier than the person who is already Muslim, because he went through this journey already. The person who is already Muslim, he is Muslim from when he was born. But the one he converted to Islam, he went through a journey like this. He is the best person, to be honest with you,
it's a good point.
give you the guidance. And
because usually,
then you can go to the mosque, you can search for more books. When you go to the internet, to be honest with you, I don't like the idea of the internet, because there are so many sites there which is not trusted. As a non-Muslim person, you don't know about it. Honestly, it's not trusted.
And sometimes information is conflicting.
Yes.
As well, you can see that sometimes stereotypes come into place, and then you learn nothing really.
Because there are things, you know, wrote down and said by people who are Muslim and by people who are not Muslim. So from the Islamic point of view, you know, a person who writes a book or says something about it, he will say the truth. But at this moment, particularly in this time, many people, you know, think about Islam as a, you know, wrong religion, is associated with terrorism and everything that is going on now in the world. So you will also find informations that are not accurate or wrong.
And I wanted to ask you, when you converted to Islam, was it in Poland or was it?
It was in UK.
In the UK. Was it easier, do you think, to do it in the UK rather than in Poland?
Oh, of course, definitely, yes. You know, when you live in a country like UK, wherever you are, I think in every town there's at least a
Mixed
small
culture.
mixture of people. You always get some people who are, you know, in different culture or the religion that you are interested in. In Poland, you don't have a chance to convert to any religion different than Christianity, I think, because you are, number one, there is no one different, you know, everyone speaks the same, dresses the same, goes to the same places, so you don't see, you know, difference. That's why you don't, you know, think about converting to different religion. But as well, it's not easy to make that choice when you live in Poland or, you know, in a Christian country, because you're afraid of people seeing you or talking badly about you, because you, by converting to Islam or a different religion, you come out of the circle and you become a different person, and people don't like
We've seen this when we
difference.
went to
Yeah.
Poland, for example.
It is
both
true.
went there and
Yeah, we experienced it when we
you
went to
experienced it.
Poland.
Can you
Yeah.
tell me something about it?
Well, the first time we went to Poland together, we were the first people to come out of the aeroplane and go to the checkpoint, and we were the last people to leave the checkpoint. All the passengers were checked and gone through, and we were still standing there. My daughter was 3, my son was 5, and the second one was 6 years old. So a family with 3 children, and we were surrounded by 2 guards with guns behind us.
You know,
Yeah.
you know how it's in Poland.
What did you? What
Well,
did you
there
do
was no
different?
problem. There was
You
no
look like
problem.
everybody else, didn't you?
Yeah, well, we are dressed like normal people living in
And when we
Europe.
went out of the checkpoint already,
Yeah.
our luggage was in the end of
Yeah,
Conveyor belt.
the conveyor belt,
Yeah.
and it was running around and
Yeah.
coming towards us, and he switched it off, and we had to go all the way to the end to.
yeah,
to get
and
it
also
out.
they,
And the
you know,
town
because
as
my
well.
husband comes from Palestine, they had the problem with his document because they didn't, they were the guards, you know, the
didn't know the
immigration
passport.
officer didn't know that there is a country called Palestine, and he said there is no country Palestine, so that's why he had issue with him. He didn't want to let him through, but still, you had visa at that time,
had
isn't
visa
it?
to go there.
He had visa.
I said, how did they give me the visa?
But it's really good that you are laughing about it at this point,
Yeah.
because someone could really get upset and
Well,
okay
you know
to
what, you get
go.
upset, you get angry, it won't get you
won't
anywhere.
change,
It will just make things worse. So you just have to stand there and be patient, you know. And he was just going through all the passports like this, you know, trying to find a problem, but there was no problem. Yeah.
They were passing my passport from one place to another,
Yeah,
like from one
yeah.
officer to
Until
another.
some kind of
One
manager,
manager
somebody
came
came
out and
and
said,
he
"Let
told
them
them
go."
just let them go, because we are just standing there. We were on the way out now of Poland, and they still kept us there, looking and asking, and just
apart from airport, was there any other situation that you could?
In the country, inside the town, yeah. When we were walking, everybody's looking at us.
people stare a lot because I dressed this black dress and the scarf, and people stare a lot because it's not very common to see somebody different who looks different on a Polish street. That's why it's you know, attracting people's attention.
Do you think it's
and-
because they don't know?
Yeah,
Or is
yeah,
it
because
they're
people
most
don't
likely
know.
because they don't
This is
know.
because the people don't know. You know, when you don't know something, you are generally afraid of it, and you look at it, you know, not in a positive way, isn't it? That's why people don't know.
Yeah,
And
most likely because they don't. Even some people, they were thinking that she's a nun.
some people used to say to me, "Szczęść Boże." They were thinking I'm a nun. Some people used to think I'm a gypsy. Yeah.
That's very interesting. And when you met your wife to be, did you have any concerns knowing that she's from Poland?
I actually knew that she's from Poland before I met her.
Oh,
Yes, because it, well, this was like it's a long story to be honest, but it was one of the best things happening into my life. But because she used to live with one of her friends, she's from Lebanon.
We shared
like a flat.
He lived in a house. In a house, him and his friends were renting a room. And there was next door there was a Lebanese girl who was alone in her room and was looking for somebody to share the room with her because, you know, finances. And I was at that time, you know, somewhere else looking for a place to live. So I moved into that house, and this is where we met.
This was a long story, but
Yeah.
it was, as I told you, one of the best things happened into my life. And alhamdulillah, now we are together 13 years.
Yes.
But what was the first thing that came to your mind when you knew that Anya comes from Poland?
Nothing comes. The most, to be honest, the most things I was like happy to see because she was Muslim. Like I could see the scarf on her hair. Like I know that she's Muslim, but I didn't go straight forward to her and ask her because I asked her straight away for marriage without going out with her.
I think it wasn't the nationality he was looking for.
No,
he was
it's
just
just
looking at me because I was dressed as a Muslim.
And like I fell in love with her. Like the first time I see her, that's how I see it.
Yeah.
And this is how we met with each other, and we went out for a coffee.
Yeah, here and there.
Just a regular date.
Yes. Yeah.
And would you say that, have you ever noticed that you're coming from Palestine, you're coming from Poland, your cultures sometimes overlap or they're totally different?
Not totally different, they don't overlap, but there are differences.
There are some differences
There are
in the
actually,
culture.
you know, many differences, to be honest with you. And I wasn't aware of those differences until last year, until when I visited his country. But you know, that's, you know, when you are between the people. But in our life, our private life, I think we don't have much, you know, many problems because this religion is uniting us. I'm very happy in Islam, and I like to follow Islam as it should be. And my husband is often helping me, you know, telling me if I lack knowledge on something. And he's always there to guide me, to support me. And so that's about us. But his culture, I think, is different
completely different than the
to
Polish
culture of my country. Yeah, people in his country are very, very open and extremely, extremely generous. Extremely generous. Hospitality is huge. When you are there a guest, you feel like you are a king in somebody's house. They treat you, they give you everything. You know, they look at you, they give you 100% attention. You feel like, wow, you are between your best friends. Even there are people you never met before in your life, but you feel so welcomed. And yeah, there is and there is as well. The difference is that, you know, people have time for each other. They are happy to see each other, talk to each other, just sit, or even say hello with a smile on the face. There is no rush like in Poland. You know, in Poland,
or even in Europe, like
in Poland, everyone has his home, you know, and you know, you go from your home to your work. You don't care about anyone you meet on the street. You say hello and you know, how are you? But you have your own business. You go there and you do your stuff, and then you go home. In his culture, it's all united. People are more united, I think.
there's a lot of family connections.
Yeah.
Like, for example, you wanted to go and visit your sister, you don't have to book appointment with her. You don't have to tell her, to phone her.
Sister, but a friend, a
friend,
cousin,
even a friend.
a neighbor. You just go and knock on the door.
When we
Hello,
went
I'm
there,
here.
because
Welcome, come in. Please sit down. But
and if there is no food, it's okay. There's no, it doesn't have to be food. It doesn't have to be anything.
And when you went to Palestine, you went together as a couple.
yes,
Yeah.
well,
But
yes.
we traveled from different airports.
We didn't
I'm
travel
not-
together because I traveled to Israel and he traveled to Jordan because he is from West Bank. He's not allowed to enter Israeli airport. People who rule the country, you know, the Israeli people, they look down at everyone. And I went without him from his town to Jerusalem with his brother-in-law and my children to visit Jerusalem. He didn't go because he is not allowed to enter Jerusalem. You see how horrible it is. He is from the country, but he is not allowed to enter Jerusalem because the Israelis refuse Palestinians to enter Jerusalem. So I was going, I traveled about an hour and a half. I had to go through some checkpoints and, passages that are surrounded with
like wires,
like a cage, wires all around, soldiers, guns.
When you go through,
you just go. I felt like I'm a dog, like some kind of animal, because I had to go through passages and be escorted, and it was humiliated. It felt so bad, and I never felt like this in my whole life. It's just because of security reasons.
And would they do this with everyone?
Yeah. If you are not Israeli, if you don't have Israeli ID passport, you have to travel on a different road.
No, it depends. If you remember, because there are two places to go through. When she went with my brother-in-law, because my brother-in-law is not allowed to go through that area. But if she travel from another area, which is they call it European and Israelis, and the people have Israelis ID, they can go through that way.
Yeah, but you
it's
still go through checkpoints.
You go through checkpoint, but it's a bit easier.
Yeah, but after all,
again, knowing that even though you were born in Poland, you are Muslim, do you think that would influence them in any way? Would they treat you differently?
I don't think they did treat me differently. Just because I'm Muslim, I don't think because I'm Polish, I think because I'm Muslim, because when I arrived to the airport, I was like just one person in the whole airport with a scarf. There was no other Muslim woman. That's why they straight away, approached to me, the soldiers. They just came straight away. Okay, who are you? Okay, you need to go to a different side, blah, blah, blah. They sent me somewhere else. But because, I didn't even enter into the airport yet. I just got off the car and I was walking towards the door of the airport. They grabbed me and my children and his friend, because his friend was helping me.
I would recommend you, if you wanted to go there, you must know somebody who already knows the area or who already lives there. You could go with a trip. Like the other option is like there are some people like they do like a group trip, and this might cost you a bit less or maybe less headache. It's because when they go, for example, they go with the coach, all of them to one area, they come back from one area. You will not have to go through all of this checkpoint and all of this.
There are more questions.
And is it safe?
To be honest with you.
Just before going there, what you need to know that all these things are just because the Israeli people are known for its weakness obsession with security. That's why you have all those problems. Let's say problems, but you have all this because Israelis are obsessed with security. That's why they do so many checkups. At the airport, I had to show my passport 10 times. Wherever I stepped, 2 meters to the left, I had to show my passport. 3 meters to the right, I had to show my passport 10 times.
And now I want to come back to your marriage. When you introduced Anya to your family, how did they react?
They were very happy. They were very, very happy. And the most thing, my mother, she used to tell me always take care of her because she is from a different country, from a different culture, and make sure that you take care of her. That is always my mother. Even without seeing her picture, she loved her.
Yeah. And on your side, how did your family react first to your converting to Islam?
Well, they were not happy. They were not happy at all. They thought it's a joke. They didn't like it. They were very upset, maybe close to depression. It was very sad. It was very sad. But you know, very soon after I converted to Islam, I met Nidal, and a year later I got married. My parents were not very happy about this marriage as well, because number one, they didn't know much about Islam. Number two, they didn't know about Arab people, and they were afraid, you know, about my future. But when they came to meet Nidal the first time, they realized that he is just a normal person.
So it's again, is it lack of knowledge, lack of being
it's
lack of
around
lack of-
different
yeah,
cultures, different,
yeah,
different
exactly.
religions that closes your
Yes, yes. It's putting the people very much behind, you know, when you don't have contact with other, you know, colors, religions. It's bad. It's bad, really, isn't it? Bad?
So it's actually your family changed their mind when they met you. Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they were happy for her to carry on with me actually.
They were happy with him because he's also very generous and very, what you said, he's got a huge hospitality like Arab people. You know, when they came, he cooked the whole sheep for my parents. My parents, yeah, they never experienced so much welcome from others like from him. That's why they were overwhelmed by this hospitality. And he's a good person.
Well, you can tell.
Yeah.
Clearly from the smile.
That's why they like him. They love him now. Whenever they want to send us a box, a gift, they always think deeply what to send to him. Yes.
So what's their view of Muslim religion, of Islam? What's their view of Islam these days? Your family's views?
My
Has it improved? Has it changed?
well,
It did change, to be
I
honest
think a
with you.
little.
Yeah,
I think a little. They change. They are. They definitely have a little bit of knowledge about Islam. What shall I tell you?
Actually, even in some point, her mother even once she told us, like, because we talked to her about Islam, and she said, "Well, I can see where you come from, and I deeply believe that you are right." Yes,
Because
but
we had many conversations
I cannot change myself
about
because-
Islam, because you know my husband would love to see, and me, my parents converting to Islam.
yeah.
So we had many conversations about Islam. I think it helped my parents to understand and to find out more about Islam. But you know, after 2-3 years time of, you know, talks about it, they just fed up. They said, okay, we leave it here, because they know now what they wanted to know, and they don't ask for more. And it's not right for us to push them or to nag them or to, you know, tell them they are happy, and we are happy. And most of all, I'm happy because my parents accept me, accept him, accept my children. You know, my children are not baptized because in Islam there is no you know, tradition of baptize, so they are not, but they are happy. They love them to bits.
That's really great. Because I think when you think about a family,
Yeah.
acceptance is very important.
Yes, yes.
And if you think in broader terms,
Yeah.
is there anything that we should be doing in Poland, in order to not only talk about Islam,
Yeah.
but in order to make people more tolerant and open to differences?
Like, what could we do? What could we do? I don't know. Well, for us, for Muslim people, what Muslim people should do is to do dawah. It means basically go out and tell the people about Islam,
Talk to the
but
people
not
about
in the aggressive way, not in any kind of pushy way, just like maybe the Jehovah's Witnesses do, you know, peacefully. Talk to people about what is Islam. Because in this particular time, people know bad things about Islam. terrorism and all this has nothing to do with Islam. People don't know Islam as it should be. Islam, on itself means peace and submission, you know, because we submit ourselves to God. And that's why any Muslim person should be good, should not hurt any other human being, no one. But as I told you, in this time, there is so much, you know, in the media, newspapers, internet,
media doesn't
TV.
show the reality, to be honest.
The image of Islam is twisted. Is not the right image. That's why we should really, Muslim people should go and talk to people everywhere.
Other people and
Yeah.
explain
So
them.
first-hand communication or first-hand advice. And would you say that like TV programs, educational programs or books or forums,
You know what,
should help?
it could be good, but number one, I don't know who would like to do it, and number two, I don't know who would like to watch it
To be honest with you, on the
in
TV,
Poland. Because
yeah.
once you are in Poland, it's different, the mentality is different. You are not so open-minded, you know. We don't have a TV at home because number one, it's, you know, there's a lot of violence in it. A
It's
lot of
taking so much time
inappropriate
from the family.
advertisement and everything, you know. I don't want my children to be brainwashed with, you know, wrong information, or, for example, I don't want them to get a habit of time wasting, because when you sit and just watch, maybe not after one day or a week or a month, but after some time, you just slowly stop using your brain. You just kind of take it in, and you know, it's like kind of a weapon. The TV, it just feeds your mind with whatever they want to.
And at which point did you realize that TV can do this?
Long
You
time
know
ago.
what,
We
I
can have the
think
TV now.
About 6 years ago.
Six, 7 years
Yeah.
ago.
Well, when my children were little, when my boy was, I think, about 3 years old, we had a TV, because we always had a TV, but when he was about 3 and the second one was 2, they were just like staring, and, you know, I realized that they are so small, and our family life slowly is changing, because no one, not, you know, is talking to each other. Even they were little,
you could see them, like,
they
sitting
were
on the
more
TV and
interested in looking at TV than talking to me. So I decided to throw it.
And have you noticed
give it
any
to them.
difference since then?
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
of course,
our
because-
house is so loud.
Okay.
So loud and
actually, a lot of
lively.
parents probably use TVs to keep their kids quiet.
Never,
don't they?
never. No,
Yeah,
yes,
that's-
it is
yeah,
true.
it's
That's
true.
what the
This is-
parents do
No,
now.
look at today's technology, right?
Where would you let your kids gain information if it's not from TV?
You know what? At this moment, they are all in a primary school, so they know what they should know from books. We go to the library very often, and they take all the books. Believe me, everything. And their education in this English school. Okay, it's on a lower level. If you want to talk about maths or English, it's much lower level than in Poland. But they learn about many other things that are happening or are in the world, about universe, you know, about the planets, about sea, about mountains, even about World War II. My son was studying this year. He is 11-year-old. They learn about past, about old English kings, everything. So what they need to know is fine, you know, for their age. And whenever they want to know something, they ask me, and I tell them what I think is right and appropriate for this age. Yeah. But it's a good question, because he is going to high school in September, and I found out that the kids need to follow the news. They need
So
to
they
know
actually
what's going
make
on.
people.
Yeah, they want to
watch
because
TV, is
because the kids need to know what is going on in the world at this moment. And I don't know, I might be forced to buy a TV at some
or
point,
maybe let
or
them
maybe
watch it
just
on the
make him
internet
read
or
some news on the internet for the first year or so, and I hope it will help him to understand, about English Parliament, about, I don't know what's going on.
What they
Like,
want
for
to come to
example,
know.
at the moment they are gonna be choosing, party, and I don't know, anything that is happening, war, crisis. Yeah.
What languages do you teach your children? Do they know only English, or they speak some other
They
language?
speak Polish,
But they
not
don't
that
speak-
much.
but
They
they don't speak
understand,
Arabic.
but they prefer to speak English.
Why?
It's very difficult.
Oh, come on,
It's
I
a
bet you
hard
can.
language.
Honestly.
Be honest and say it. No,
Honestly,
when
it's a very hard language. If
Yeah.
they don't live with all around them in the Arabic language, to learn, especially the Arabic language.
and Arabic is a very hard language. He has friends who are both Arabs, like mother and father,
their kids
and
don't
their
speak
children don't speak Arabic. This
How
is
would you
shame.
like your kids to know at least a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, I would love them. I think I want more than he wants.
This is why we are going for a holiday for 4 weeks, just to let her learn
Not
some
4
Arabic.
weeks. I can't take it 4 weeks. It's too hot. Too hot in this country.
It's good. I mean, if kids, I think it's really
Yeah,
good if
for
kids
the
know
family
and
is lovely.
Imagine how
But,
nice it would be
yeah,
for them to speak
yeah.
3 languages.
Yeah. When they went
That
to
would be like-
Palestine for 2 weeks and they start picking up some words.
Yeah, hopefully. Let's see.
Do you know any mixed marriages?
Yeah, many.
Interfaith marriages, they call them as well.
Interfaith?
Is it 2 different religions?
Yes.
Isn't it?
Religions.
Yeah.
Most of
Yeah.
my friends, most of my Polish friends, are married to either Arab or Pakistani man, but they are converted to
There is
Islam.
Karam as well. with
Yeah, we know Karam,
we know.
a Palestinian guy with
Married
a
a
French
French lady.
She's Christian.
And do you think there are any pros of that, like good sides of it, or do you think people should always convert, and if they are getting married, they should be of one religion?
No,
No.
because Islam doesn't force you to convert to Islam.
Yeah,
Islam religion will not force somebody to convert to Islam.
yeah.
And when
Because-
somebody is converting to Islam, it is just because of one reason. Is we believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is God, He enlightened his heart and He opened his heart to
Guide
convert-
him. To Islam.
No one can force you to convert to Islam.
Yeah, because when you convert to, I think, any religion, you do this from your heart because you
From your
believe in
heart,
it,
you
not
believe in
because somebody tells you to do that, isn't it?
Islam
Yeah.
doesn't push you to convert to Islam.
Yeah. But I think in the long term, if you think about the future, it might be, there will be always a challenge in the couple if the couple has 2 different religions, because
Especially when they start having
because when
kids,
you have
like-
children, as long as you don't have children, I think it's all right. But when you
Start
have
having
a
kids.
family, your children come to this world, then it might get a bit complicated, because there are 2 different religions. If there are 2 different cultures, it's actually a smaller problem. But 2 different religions, it's complicated. So if the people, the parents are, able to understand it, understand the differences, and allow their children to learn both, then it's okay. But they cannot force it onto the kids,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Yeah.
Because if somebody want to force it
Yeah.
into his kids, I want him, for example, to become a Christian. Another person I want him to become a Muslim.
Or a Jew,
They will
or a
start, or a
Hindu.
Jew, or a Hinduism,
Then this
or
breaks the
Buddhism.
family,
Then
you
it
know.
will start destroying the family.
Yeah.
Then just teach the kids both, and he
Yeah.
will choose.
And you have, Hannah, there are marriages in Arab people, about Sunni and Shia and sects of Islam. Well, parents of my friend are from 2 different
Sects, for example.
sects of Islam, and
And they are happy. They are,
the children were not forced to follow any. They decided to follow one. They decided to follow the one of the father.
I see. So it's like I think in Christianity you've got how do they evangelists.
You've got Christian Catholics.
Catholic, Orthodox.
You've got Orthodox. You've got Protestants.
Protestants. Yeah.
You have Greek Church, yeah, and Jehovah's Witnesses as well as
So
sect of Christianity.
in Islam it's the same.
In
It's
Islam as well.
different sections.
Islam is also divided into many sects,
But all of
the
them follow
biggest
one
one,
book.
the biggest one,
Okay.
Yeah, there is only one book. There is no two books in Islam. There is
Yeah.
only one book. There is only one Quran.
And
If-
what makes them different?
The only difference is
small differences,
small
just like in
differences.
Christianity, very small differences.
Small
But
differences.
we follow the way of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be
How do
upon
you-
him, because he told us that follow the way that has the biggest amount of followers, and we follow Sunni, which makes
They are
I
the
think around
majority.
90% of Muslim people around the world. 90% of Muslim people around the world are Sunni. They follow the way of the Prophet Muhammad, which is they follow the way he lived, he ate, he slept,
dressed,
he
he
dressed,
he
he
prayed,
prayed.
he
They
did-
follow basically his example. And other 10% of the Muslims around the world are divided into many different sects, and we don't like that, isn't it?
And they add things like the witches, we call it
And there
invasion.
are small wars as well between those sects. Like in Christianity, we don't like them, we don't like them, they say this, they say that.
it's
But,
how it
we stick to what we believe in and we are happy with it.
When you say wars, is there any bloodshed or it's
There is. If you want to look at, for example,
What's
Iraq,
happening now, for example, in
there is a
Iraq,
war
in
between
Syria.
Sunnis and Shias.
Yeah. This is it's
Africa,
because
North Africa, same problems. Yeah.
I might ask a very naive question now, but we've got unions of nations, we've got even one common language, Esperanto or English. Do you think at any point we'll ever have one religion that everybody will follow and there will be peace all over the world?
I don't think so.
It's not
No, I don't think so. If I want to be
because
honest
to
with
be
you,
honest with you, from an Islam point of view, from a religion, it's already explained. This question it's already answered in Islam. We create the mankind, and he's got a choice. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving you the choice, is to open your mind, to open your heart, to find the truth, or keep it closed and follow the blind way and the shaitan, which is the evil way, and you will be hurt in the day of the judgment. Yeah? And if you follow the truth, if you follow the right way, you will be in paradise. And this is itself is giving you the answer on that question. There won't be. Islam will be spread. We believe Islam will be spread in all over the world.
Spread.
Yes, it will be spread in all over the world. Every single person will know about Islam.
yeah.
This is why you will have the choice. Is either follow the right way or either follow your own way.
And would you want to see, witness a day where Islam takes over all other religions and it's
We won't
the most
say we won't
common?
yeah we won't say taking over all other religions. We would be very happy to see everybody converted to Islam. We won't be very happy, for example, to people think that Muslim they wanted to invade other country to become Muslim. No, because this is not Islam.
I just wish, I don't mind other religions because, they are here for a reason. We all cannot be the same. We have different skin color, we have different nationalities. It's okay, there are different religions. But I just wished that, people wouldn't kill each other for this reason.
Yeah.
Because all the wars that are happening are
Just
because of
a race.
racism. And racism is connected to either religion or race or language, just difference, any difference. But at the moment, there are many wars that are told to be religious wars,
But they are not
it has
religious.
nothing to do with
Has
religion.
nothing to do,
You
believe
know,
me. Like
whatever
what's
is
happening
happening, Syria,
in
whatever,
Syria,
it's
in
nothing.
Iraq, in
It's
Yemen,
not a religious
it has
war.
nothing to do with
Yeah?
religion.
We are Muslim, and we know about Islam what we know, and what is happening. It's not a war of religion. No. Yeah.
And my last question,
Of course.
you were talking about racism, and that's whether I want it or not. Nigel Farage comes to my head. You know this
Who?
guy, Nigel Farage
Who
from
is it?
UKIP, saying might come to power at some point.
Yeah.
This is a far right party,
Yeah.
so they are not open to immigrants. They want all immigrants to go away. They want to send everybody home. They think they are self-sufficient in the UK.
Block
they
the borders.
Block the
Yeah.
borders.
They won't be able to do that, to be honest with you.
And
They will
what's
not
but what
survive
is
this
the
war.
question?
I wanted to actually ask you, what would you hear from you, what would you tell to someone who says immigrants are not
Go ahead
welcome?
and do it if you can.
Yeah.
Because to be honest with you, I've been in this country 15 years, almost, a bit less. From this 15 years, if there is no foreigner in this country won't survive.
Thank you very much for this interview.